For that matter, I think one of the questions was, how do you write such brilliant songs? The first thing I think of, Dhruv Visvanath is a brilliant songwriter.
Thanks.
And I think you've described your songwriting process as building Legos, or the first 10 seconds of a song, which you, the main
Yeah, that's what I
idea
try and teach people when they're trying to write songs and everything, is that a song idea does not have to be a full thing, but you have to look at it like bricks of Lego. Like, you can have a 10-second idea, and if you, in fact, the easiest way to do it is, like, think of a line, and the line has an infinite end on either side. You don't know how far it will go one way, how far it goes before it. But if you take one spot in the line and you make that, and that's probably like a little idea, like a small riff or small hum or anything of the sort, all you have to do is think about how you go ahead of it and how you go behind it. The Lego idea comes from when you start to build vertically, which is when you're visually building it, and this is when you're using like a piece of software like Logic or Ableton or whatever and things like that. Like, I use Logic, and because you can color the tracks and everything, all Lego bricks are different colors and everything. It's all about like how different layers stack on each other to make the most of that length. And so it's more to make it seem more visually appealing for somebody, easy to understand. It's literally, you just take the line, you're breaking 1 second here and there, or 10 seconds here, and you're just figuring out, okay, what comes after it and what comes before it. And slowly you just build it up until you have your song like that.
Right.
And that's pretty much it.
Right. For that matter, I really love your harmonies on your songs.
Thanks.
And the kind of layering, right? Vocals or guitars.
Yeah, that's a lot of fun to do.
Yeah. So how is your approach to that in general?
I'm pretty noob. Like, once I saw Jacob Collier do all that stuff, I was like, okay, calm down. But it's pretty, how do I say this? Like, I grew up singing in choirs.
Oh, okay.
So when I was in Hong Kong, I grew up in Hong Kong a little bit. And like, I was in a English Schools Foundation choir, and we sang like versions of like Danny Boy and like, all these like Latin kind of choir elements. And then I would sing in choirs for like school programs and everything of the sort. So, and I was a tenor, and so you'd always learn how to sort of sit in between a harmony. You're never really singing the lead harmony. So it made it very easy to think about, okay, how do I build the layers beneath that? And so you have one lead layer, and then I'm like, okay, cool. If I was a synthesizer, how would I sound like a synthesizer? Like, what is the thing? So the whole thing is, to make things sound thick and rich. And I've never been truly very confident in my own singing voice. So I always think like, okay, if I add harmonies, it just brings like more color and more tone and more emphasis into what I'm trying to bring across.
Right. So following on that, I think I had one question about your singing, and then further on about your music in general. But first I'll come to the singing. I think I'd messaged you saying, okay, there's something similar to Suraj Mani's tone. And you're like, oh, okay, yeah, thanks for that. He's a friend. But you had also mentioned that when you started out, you were doing your percussion, like back then, your percussion fingers, and then you're like, okay, people are not paying attention in the pub or whatever. And then you started singing.
Correct.
So, but for that matter, how was the process of learning vocals or the songwriting process itself from just being a guitarist?
So I taught myself how to play the guitar. So I figured like if I could teach myself how to play the guitar, I could definitely teach myself how to sing. And thankfully enough, like because of the fact that I had this like some training in a choir or something like that, it felt easy. I didn't really have to put too much. What the problem was that I had set myself down this path like, oh, I have to spank every guitar I play, so I have to sing while I do that. So at the same time, I'm trying to do all these different things and breathe and all this and stuff. And then somehow you're put into this corner where you're like, oh God, what journey have I set myself on? That in itself was like refreshing, because I knew that when I would do both those elements together, it was enough to silence a room and have people pay attention. I'd like to think that kind of paved the way for a lot of people to want to try and explore that kind of playing. And there was Benny Prasad, who was an Indian guitarist who used to travel around the world. He was like, he had the thickest passport or something like that. He traveled to like 200 something countries in 1 year. And he was this one guy who had this percussive ability, and he was the only Indian. And I was like, there should be more people like this as well. And I wasn't volunteering myself. I was just like, I just want to play in the way that feels natural. And so when it came to starting to sing and everything of the sort, it was just one of those things where I started slowly like kind of writing my own music with simpler percussive elements into it. And one gig that comes to mind was there was a singer, Shashank Bhatnagar.
Right. Okay.
What is the band he plays in?
Undying. Now he's playing for Inner
Undying,
Sanctum.
yes.
Yeah.
Undying and Inner Sanctum. So he used to own a cafe in opposite Venki College in Delhi, called Underground Cafe, and it was like this long room, like maybe like this or something like that. And every now and then he would get some artists to come and play. So I played there 2 or 3 times, and first time I went, I played just my instrumental music, and I had these CDs and my EP and everything. Everybody who was in the cafe was like, whatever. So second time I came, I was like, I'm gonna have to make sure people pay attention and all that and stuff. So I decided to practice some songs where I would sing and do this percussive stuff, and it worked out well. I think I think that's when I realized that I wasn't using it wasn't a fact of, I mean, I say it jokingly like that I want people to pay attention to me. But I also realized that I wasn't using my abilities to I wasn't maximizing my ability to sort of perform the best I could. And so adding that extra element, it kind of reminded me of like how I've been trying to grow and develop as an artist and as a musician itself. Like it's always about adding a new dimension to what you do. And of course, the more you get this diminishing returns of what more you can add into it and everything of the sort. But it's still an additional layer of something you can add into your work. And so, yeah, I think that's why it was a little necessary to kind of do that.
Right.